It's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. I just thought it would be nice to give you a little update of what's been going on the homestead. I haven't been videotaping most of it, just because I do it by myself, and dragging the tripod out there definitely slows me down. But I've been doing better at cleaning out the chicken house more often, so I don't have so much to carry off at a time. I think, I really don't know, but I think I have about 45 chickens. And during this time of the year, they spend more time in the chicken coop because the days are short. And so at night they go in, but also when it's raining hard, they go seeking shelter. And when they do, lots of times that's in the house. And when they're in there, they're messing in there, of course. So I even went out yesterday, although it had just been 2 days before that I had cleaned out the chicken house, and I scraped everything up, and I hadn't put any new bedding down. I have it, but it's too heavy for me to pack. The other bags I've been getting I could pack, but this one, I can't hardly move it at all. It's really heavy. So I've got to wait for somebody to pack it out there for me, or load it in the wheelbarrows so I can get it out. Although now that I think about it, even if it's the wheelbarrow, I can't lift it up to get it up inside the chicken house. So I'll be praying about that. But since it was just chicken manure down there, even though it was quite a few shovel loads, I use a big, flat, heavy shovel. It's very wide, like a snow shovel. And I was able to clear that up. And instead of packing it to the garden to do the layer before the leaves that will break down until spring, I thought, I'm building new beds this coming year. I'm hoping that Jason will be well enough that we can finish up the new really big greenhouse. And I'm going to do some beds in there. They won't be terribly tall, but definitely some beds in there. And I'm going to put this compost that I've been working on for, about 1.5 years now. Really, goodness, now that I think about it, almost 2 years. It's beautiful. But I thought I would just add some of that fresh chicken manure on it. It will get rained on and washed in there, help bring more worms, and it will break down and be ready for the new beds. So if you think about it, please join me in prayer that Jason will feel strong enough that we can get in there. Because in there, I've got big plans for that greenhouse. Even though we live in Southern Oregon, which has, cold winters, I have a lemon tree, and I have an orange tree, and I have a lime tree that I want to plant out there because I have allotted, I think it's like 60 feet long. I have allotted enough space out there to put them and have a very nice area for crops that I want to grow inside of the greenhouse. That might be sweet potatoes, because they like longer, warmer times. It could be a really nice area also to grow fall crops or early spring crops. Get a jump start on it. So I'm hoping. But I want to tell you what I prayed about last night. This was way exciting. So As you know, I've been raking leaves like crazy. I mean, we just have so many trees. And I've gotten a lot of it done. The biggest tree is this big old sycamore tree. It's between 60 and 80 feet tall. It's incredibly wide. And the number of leaves on that come down from that are just mind-boggling. But I've got that one taken care of. And I've got hazelnut and cherry taking care of. Something else I can't remember offhand, but anyhow, taking care of those ones. And out in the front yard is so beautiful right now because the blooming cherry has dropped its golden leaves and they're just laying out like a carpet. They are so pretty. They won't get to stay there because they're going on my garden beds, of course, but they're beautiful now. Now, what I was praying about was my roof. We have a very steep roof on our house, and I'm not getting up there. In fact, I get really nervous when anybody gets up there because it is super steep. And it was covered with leaves deep from the sycamore tree. And I needed to get those down. Of course, the gutters are full too, but that we can do safely. The other I don't feel like we can. So, the last few days they've been talking about a storm coming in our area, a windstorm. Well, that can cause a lot of damage to areas that, you know, because we live in a wooded area where it could blow down trees and stuff, and I would never want people to be harmed or get trapped if they're at their place and a big tree comes down. I would never want that, although it does happen. But what I did want was I wanted God to send wind to blow off those leaves off my roof. So that's what I prayed about last night, right before going to sleep. And I woke up, I was really tired. And just like, what am I going to do today? I don't feel like doing anything. Then I went outside where I keep the dog food on the front porch. I have a front porch the length of my house. And I opened the door, and I kid you not, the leaves were this thick on my front porch. I was overjoyed. So I called Jason and I said, look at the front porch. And I said, I was so happy. And there were still some stuck because we have a covered deck or porch. And there are metal posts that hold those up over the roof. And so sticks, and I mean some really long sticks, longer than I can show you on this, 5 feet, had blown off the sycamore tree too. And they would get things hung up, and then the leaves would get hung up on them. So I asked Jason if I got a broom, if he could try to knock down some more leaves. And he said, I think a rake would do better. So I got him a rake, because he's taller than me by a lot. And he raked additional leaves off, especially around those areas, like I said, where there was the metal post, and got a lot more down. Then he went outside, and I went and got a huge leaf bag and began raking. My first thought was, I'm just going to rake this off onto the ground. And then I thought, why would I do that? This will be easier raking here. And I don't want to rake it twice. So I raked my porch. I tell you, it worked great. That leaf bag, I kept pushing it down and pushing it down, is filled to the top. And then I filled a 5-gallon bucket and a little bit in another garbage can. And then I went and got the broom. and I swept it, and it was safe. And then I went on a little walkway and took care of it. But I was so happy. Now, I'm praying for another wind to blow off the rest of them. And when that's all done, then I'll be ready to move stuff, because I'm storing a lot of stuff up there. And I'll clean out the gutters on the front of the part of the porch. Now the rest is up much higher. You got to get on a ladder, hoping that someone will come and help me with that. Anyhow, I just thought I'd tell you what's going on the very end of November. And I'm curious, do you have any special projects that you're doing? Do you have any hints for me of what else I can do? Well, maybe even to make it easier when I'm lifting these heavy things. So anyhow, it's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. I want to pray blessings on you and yours, in your house, out of your house, in the day and the night. Whatever you do, keep dreaming. Good night.